what's going on? We're about to go live on Skype with bare knuckle boxer Chris Cella. He's a pro boxer switching over to the bare knuckle boxing world. He was supposed to debut at Bare Knuckle 3, and some hiccups and this and that happened. We're going to get the details, and we're going to kind of get his input and figure out exactly what happened. Nick, what's your take on this guy real quick before we get him on?
My take, I think he's great for the sport. I know he's not new to bare knuckle, but he's new to quote unquote legalized bare knuckle boxing.
Right.
I know he's 2-0 as a pro boxer, and he's 12-0 in bare knuckle in the underground scene.
Yeah.
I believe it's 12-0, but we're absolutely going to ask him. His background, his story's kind of cool. So I don't know. I think he's going to make a splash once he finally gets to do the legal version, because he's not new to the sport.
All right. Well, with that said, let's bring him on in. We are live here with Chris Cella, bare knuckle boxer. Chris, what's going on, man?
Another day in paradise, my pal. Kind of bummed out that my fight fell through 2 weeks ago, but got the television back. I'm scheduled right now to fight March 2nd, a gloved bout in Pittsburgh, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that the BKFC asks me back for a bare knuckle bout, because that's been my dream fight since day one.
Yeah, well, we kind of wanted to ask about that. I mean, I follow it, and I get the pay-per-views, and I watch them. I know you were there, on weight, ready to go. If you're able to, what actually happened that your opponent pulled out or the fight didn't happen? What kind of went down? Because I know you were ready.
Yeah, I was ready. I weighed in perfectly at 172.6, ready to go, mentally right, physically right. I got to the arena. I shadow boxed in the ring a little bit. I messaged my wife. I said, I'm scared to death. This just became very real. But it was a good scare. I knew I was ready. And we went to the fighter meeting. Dave Feldman came up to me. He's like, I got bad news. He said, your opponent's out. I said, what do you mean? He said, that's it. He's gone. Apparently, he left the arena. And I said, are you kidding me? I said, it's an hour before the fight. Right. And, I messaged my wife. I said, the fight's off. She said, oh, you're kidding me, blah, blah, blah. I said, no. I said, no, I'm dead serious. So she FaceTimed me, and I went in the back, and, it's embarrassing to say. I started crying. I was devastated. This was my dream fight since day one. Yeah. I wanted to hit the big stage, and it doesn't make sense to me. And everybody was saying to me, Chris, he's probably intimidated, this and this. I mean, come on now. I look like a pen salesman. I'm not intimidating. I'm not Bobby Gunn. I mean, cut me a break. I don't know. I mean, fighters fight. I was scared to death, but you put the work in. I trained my butt off for 12 weeks. I had a great training camp, great coaches all around me, and I couldn't believe it didn't fall through. I didn't fly all the way to Mississippi to be a fight fan. And
I wonder if it's your previous, though, because while this would have been your debut on the big stage, you're not new to bare knuckle boxing. You're, what, 12-0?
12-0, yes, sir.
In the, I guess, lack of a better word, underground circuit?
Yep.
So now you have a gloved match coming up in March.
Yes, sir.
If BKFC, because they haven't technically released their dates yet,
right.
If they manage to line you up a fight that interferes, are you game to do both or figure it out? Because there was a lot of people waiting on your fight.
Yes.
I was watching it on social media. People were waiting and waiting. We watched your training camp.
Yes.
And then it fell through. So at the end of the day, as long as there's a fight available, you will fight on Bare Knuckle FC.
100%. If I'm given the opportunity with open arms, right now my date in March is more or less a verbal agreement.
Right.
That hinges upon bare knuckle fight. Bare knuckle, I'm 2-0 as a pro boxer. I'm 37 years old. I'm not going to be fighting for the world title anytime soon. So more or less, it would be just another opportunity to go in there and throw hands. But the BKFC is where is what I want. I've had my share of underground fights. I've traveled with Bobby. I paid my dues, and I want the recognition. I have a couple of kids. I have a 16-year-old son, Mark. I have 2 daughters, Giada and Mia. I want them to grow up and see that Daddy made it to the big stage, and I'm not going to stop till I get there.
If I could rewind a little bit, Chris, I guess kind of talk us through how did you kind of develop your love for boxing and then eventually bare knuckle boxing? How did you get started in it? If you could just kind of elaborate on that.
Sure. I started boxing when I was 11 years old in fourth grade. I had moved. I'm a Jersey Shore boy, and I moved down to the shore. And a good friend of mine, Frank Manzi, said, "Hey, what are you doing after school today?" I said, "Not too much, man. Playing baseball." He said, "Come over." So this kid used to beat me up in his basement every single day. I'd go home, and my mom would say, "Christopher, what's wrong? Is there a bullying situation?" I said, "No, Mom." I said, "He puts the gloves on, and we have fun with it." So I just got that natural. I love the competition. I've played every sport out there. I played baseball, soccer, hockey, but I love the one-on-one aspect of boxing. So I kind of stuck with it with backyard boxing. When I turned 19, I moved up to Paterson, New Jersey, which is a very popular fight town in New Jersey. And I started training at Ike and Randy's gym with Wayne Sharp, who's one of the top trainers in the game. He trains out of Jamaica now. And he put me up against Kendall Holt, former WBO welterweight champion, I think my second time sparring. And I got my nose broke, I think, 30 seconds in. I threw a jab. He countered with an overhand two, shattered my nose. In between rounds, he told me, "Chris, jab, jab." I said, "You go out there and jab." I said, "I jab, I'm getting hit." And he ended up losing $50 because he said, "There's no way this white kid's coming back." I was the only white kid in the gym. He said, "There's no way he's coming back the next day to spar." But I had a love for it. And I worked with Kendall. And I just put the work in. I love just going out there grinding every single day because boxing is one of those sports. Every time you do it, you progress at it. You get better and better. And from there, I started training with Lou Issa, former heavyweight knockout artist. And he's another one. He's like a Bobby Gunn. He was like a dad to me. He took me under his wing. Through him, I met Bobby. And from day one I met Bobby, we just clicked. And, it's like a crazy love-hate relationship. Some days I want to choke him out because he drives me crazy. And he'll blow up my phone 45 times a day. But he turned me on to the bare knuckle aspect, and I love that. And Bobby says it best. He says bare knuckle is like checkers, and bare knuckle boxing is like chess. Boxing is like checkers. And you watch Bobby in bare knuckle, and he's a technician. He's precise and he's on point, and he's given me everything I've learned in bare knuckle boxing is due to Bobby Gunn. I think I'm a mediocre boxer with boxing gloves on. I think I have heart, and that's why I win fights with boxing gloves on. But I think I'm good at what I do when it comes to bare knuckle boxing because of Bobby. I mean, he told me, you don't lose. You don't go out there and lose. And Bobby, he has his nephew. He has his son. Everyone under him. We've never lost a fight because of one reason. We can't lose for Bobby. He gives us everything he's got, and he's done this since he was, 8 or 9 years old. And it's precious, but it's an honor. I mean, Bobby Gunn picked me. There's a million people out there. There's billions of people out there, millions of fighters. And Bobby Gunn saw something in me and said, "Chris, I want you to have what I have." And, you got to make the most out of that.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I've got to talk to him on a couple separate occasions. And very polite, very humble. Right. It's kind of odd. I just want you to know he was giggling while you were talking because I'm also a Jersey Shore guy.
Okay, there you go.
Born in Jersey, still in Jersey. He's one of them Virginia type people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. But man, I guess is there anybody in the fight game right now, other than I know you talked about you're real close with Bobby and some of your other coaches, but I guess somebody maybe another fighter maybe that's in the game that you kind of look up to or maybe model yourself after a little bit or anything like that.
It's crazy. One of the best things I took from the whole Mississippi trip was the fighters I got to meet with, and these are fighters I grew up watching. Antonio Carver, Chris Lytle, but two women actually I really look up to and I consider peers. Christine Feria, she just won an incredible bout at BKFC 3, and of course Britain Hart, she's a class act, and I learned a lot about them from what they do inside the cage, inside the ring, but who they are outside. People always say it's not what you do inside the ring, it's how you live your life outside. And, that's kind of what I gravitate towards. It's them being husbands, wives, it's them being mothers, and just, it's incredible knowing them on a personal level. And they've made me a better person. I'm a nobody in this name, outside of my social media following, which is very, very small. I have no name, I don't have a big following, but these people take time and offer me training advice and tips, and it's incredible. The fight community is like no other. There's no egos. There's no one trying to be better than the other one. Yeah. It's just giving what you got and just trying to pass it along to the others.
It's actually funny that you brought both of them up because I know both of them. Both of them are awesome, 100%. But let me get your opinion. So you have Beck Rolling at the top of the mountain. And I've been following it on social media on who everybody thinks should be next.
Sure.
So Christine Fierro makes an absolutely great argument. She went in there, like you said, awesome first round KO. So it makes sense.
Yes.
But then you have Britain Hart, who went in there and she did not win, but she lost a split decision.
Sure, super close.
So in your opinion, don't worry, it's just an opinion, who do you think is next for Beck?
You know, it's hard to say. As a fight fan,
I'm asking you because I can't answer it. I'm going to see what you say, and then I'll decide.
in terms of what I've seen, I mean, they're both tremendous fighters. They're both tremendous ladies. I have the utmost respect for both of them. In my opinion, at this moment, Christine, because she went out there and she did it. If you watch those fights, a lot of those fights were MMA fighters fighting their style MMA. You know, Christine came out, which Britain also did. They both fought on target, you know, on point. And this is something Bob agree with. They didn't just go out there swinging haymakers, hoping that they land a punch. There was precision. There was, you know, they always say you want to punch with a purpose. Both those ladies executed. But right now, I think with the way Christine finished that fight, went out there in the first round, she did everything she said she was going to do through training camp. I think she should get the next notch. I'm going to put it out there just for Dave Feldman, for all the fight fans around the world. A fight I would love to watch, and this is only as a fight fan because I have such respect for both these women, Christine and Britain, because that would be a fan favorite. That would be a war of wars. I mean, they're both two striking champions. They're both on top of their game right now. Yeah. I don't think I'd want to watch that as in a personal level because I wouldn't want to watch either one of them get hit or root against them. But you know, I think those two are top of the game right now. Both of them deserve the shot. But I think Christine, because of what she's done, you know, they always say in boxing, it's not what you've done, it's what you've done lately. And Christine went out and shocked the world. She did what she was supposed to do.
That's actually funny you said that because that was like through social media polls, that was one of the options. If a decision can't be made, they're the two only logical choices because you're not going to bring in a new person. Right. Let them throw hands to see who's going to be next, and then everybody. Beck is just chilling right now. She's chilling, but I'll tell you what. When she's not fighting, her social media game is legit. She could sell. She could sell a fight that's not even happening yet. It's 100%. Amazing what she does on there. Oh yeah,
she knows how to do it. That's right, and that's what you have to do. You have to stay relevant. You have to stay on top of the game.
I think. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, regarding your social media, you said it's very small, but I really don't think it is because I found out all about you by you documenting your training camp.
Right. Wow.
You were very easy to follow. We didn't really have to dig. It's just a side note, but for the social media aspect, you do very good.
Oh, that means a lot. Thank you. And it is. My wife makes fun of me. She says, "Oh, you're making another video." I said, "This is how I want to promote myself. I want to promote. I run a gym, BC Boxing here in Brockport, PA, and I want people to see. I came from a place where I never thought I'd make it to the professional level, to the big stage, and I want people to see that. You work hard, you put the work in. It's going to happen, guaranteed.
You're there now.
Yeah,
just waiting. Now you're waiting on it.
It's real. And it's waiting. And at 37 years old, I feel more ready than ever. I feel mentally sharp, physically sharp, and I'm hungry. I want this. It's something I dreamt about when I first laced the gloves up at 11 and when I first stepped into that gym at 19 years old. And, if someone would have told me when I was 19, you'd be fighting for the junior middleweight belt or, competing on competing for the bare knuckle fighting championships, I say you're out of your mind. And that day I stood on top of that stage smiling at the weigh-in. I think I was probably the only person smiling. I was so giddy. I said, I don't care. I said, I can't mean mug at this point. I said, I made it. I did it. I put the work in. Yeah. I'm here. I did it for myself, and it's incredible. It's been a journey that I've enjoyed, but I'm not ready to relinquish just yet. I'm not done.
We're not ready for you to stop.
That's it. Yes, sir.
What's your 1 year, 2 year, 3 year plan, Chris, going forward?
As long as I stay healthy, this year's been crazy. 2018, I've trained 8 out of 10 months with 0 fights. I was supposed to fight on BKFC 1, and I suffered a double hernia 2 weeks before. So I recovered. That Dave Feldman called me, said, "Are you ready?" I said, "I'm healthy." Yes. He said, "You're gonna fight in October." Then this fell through. So I can't lose track. It's easy to get discouraged and say, "Oh, well, maybe I should walk away." And when I'm training, I feel like I'm 19 years old. I feel sharp. Next day, I feel like I'm 87 because I'm sore and but I love it. That's what I love about this. And because of Bobby and because of Lou and because of these amazing coaches I've had, I think my experience is what's going to help me prevail. I mean, I think I could fight a 22-year-old tomorrow, bare knuckle or glove boxing, and beat them because I know what I'm doing. It's not going in there just thinking I'm, top dog, and it's knowing I got to rely on what I've been taught and trusting that. And, looking forward to next year, I'm hoping to be on at least 1 or 2 BKFC cards, maybe 1 or 2 glove matches. And if I stay healthy and I continue to win, why stop now?
I tell you what, man, that's a real good answer. I guess, man, we thank you for your time, man. And Chris, I guess give us a shout out for your school, man. I guess let everybody know, exactly where your school's at, how they can get in touch with you, and all that good stuff.
That's awesome, man. I run BC Boxing out of Brockport, Pennsylvania. We're in the middle of nowhere. We're about 2 hours northeast of Pittsburgh. It's an amazing school. I train the best people. We have a small, close-knit group, and I wouldn't trade that in the world for 3,000 people because everyone's friendly, everyone gets along. We're like a crazy family. And if I may, blackout fight gear, Rodney Emberson, he took a chance on me for my pro debut last April 20th of 2017. I tried for sponsors. Everyone closed the door. They said, you're a no-name. Rodney gave me a shot, and he's been one of my best friends in this fight game. He makes the best gear out there, best gloves, best headgear. Big shout out to, again, Blackout. You can visit them at www.worldofblackout.com. Big time thank you for everyone believed in me. A lot of people, like I said, nobody's heard of me. No one's ever given me a chance. Since the past year, since you guys have given me a chance on social media, following me, helping me retweet, it's living a dream. You guys have helped me live a dream, and I wouldn't be here if not for that. And especially to my wife, Becky, she hates what I do. She hates that I go in there and get punched in the face. But at the end of the day, she's my agent. She believes in me. To my son, Mark, he looks up to me like I'm Rocky Balboa, and it's incredible. And to my 2 little babies, Jada and Mia, they kind of understand what Daddy does, but they don't. And
right.
I want to build a legacy so that in 10 years they look back and say, oh my God, look at what my dad did. He was a professional fighter. But to thank you for all my fans. It's crazy to say that I have fans, but holy shit, it's incredible. And thank you to everyone who believes in me. I wouldn't be here if not for you guys. And thank you for your time today, guys. You guys have no idea what it means to be on the show.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Man. Yeah, thank you, man. It's our pleasure, and we appreciate your time, man. Your story. You got a good story, bro, and yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, man, and I think it's coming. Big things are coming for you. Just keep doing what you're doing. Everybody, Mr. Chris Cella, check him out. Check out his school. Let him punch you in the face a couple times. I don't know. Go check it out. And Mr. Cella, that's all we got for you. Josh Furs, Nick Portella, we're out.
Have a good day, Ken. Thank you so much, guys. Be good.
Thank you, man. All right, everybody. Continuing with our bare knuckle theme we got going on today, we have coming up next via Skype, Reggie Barnett Jr. He's been scheduled for all 3 bare knuckle cards. He's 2-0 with the bare knuckle. We're gonna bring him in and we're gonna let him tell you all about it. All right, everybody, welcome back. We are live via Skype. Reggie Barnett Jr., bare knuckle boxer, Mr. Reggie Barnett. How's it going, my friend?
It's going good, man. I literally just left both gyms about half an hour ago. So,
what were we training today?
Let's see. We worked on a little bit of speed and a little bit of timing. I did a couple rounds of sparring, and then I did some film study.
Okay. Well, what you got? What's coming up next for you, Reggie?
We have the semifinal round of the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships tournament. I got a bye in the first round. I really didn't want to bye. I wanted to fight for my spot, but it just puts me one step closer to being the world champion, so I'm not going to complain about that.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy because you're the only person that was even to be scheduled for every event. I mean, you went out, you performed the first 2. Where everybody's kind of hoping to see you on the 3rd one. You're like a kind of a staple in the process. And you'll be facing Rusty Crowder, correct, in the next round. Obviously, you watched his fight. What do you think style-wise how you match up with him?
Rusty is your typical tough guy fighter, and I'm a better boxer and a tough guy myself. So it's going to be interesting fight. I don't see him, with all due respect, I'm not going in to lose at all.
Right.
So I know that he's going to be training hard because he wants to take my spot, and that's completely understandable. So I'm going to train, 10 times harder than I normally train, and it's going to be fireworks. Y'all know anytime I step in that squared circle, whether I'm winning or losing, there's fireworks. So.
You're talking about your training. I've seen some of the videos you posted. You're already like super next level with just what you do. You had one video, it was making me sweat watching it. How can you even step up your game? Because I know you trained like insane now already.
I was thinking about that myself when we were doing the film study with my coach earlier.
Right.
We watched one of Rusty's videos where he was talking about him having to train, and I was like, Coach, we're gonna have to train like 4 times harder. He's like, what is 4 times harder? I guess just instead of 2 a days, we'll do some 3 a days. Run some extra miles. Just do more, even more than what I already do. It's gonna suck. It's gonna hurt, but I always feel like one thing that is a staple of mine is that nobody's gonna outwork me. I may not always be the most talented fighter, but nobody's gonna outwork me.
Reggie, I always like to ask, whenever I get fighters to come on, and that's, how did you develop your love for, bare knuckle boxing and getting into combat sports? And what I always say, how did you develop your love for punching people in the face for a living?
It's a little bit about it's kind of back and forth. I love fighting. We as human beings, we look for that. We chase things. We chase that high, that adrenaline rush. It's human nature. For me, fighting gives me that big. And I tell everybody the same thing. There's no bigger high or adrenaline rush in the world when that referee looks over at you before the fight starts and he asks you, "Are you ready?" Because then you have no choice. It's either put up or shut up. And I love that feeling, but you only get it, as a fighter, so far in between.
Yeah.
And then just, my story, I was bullied when I was younger, and I knew how to fight as a kid, but I never fought back. And then finally I started fighting back, and I was like, man, I love this. Come on, so.
Right.
And then as you get older, you realize you can't just go around beating people up,
Yeah.
So I figured, let's turn it into a skill set, let's hone and sharpen it and have fun with it, So now I get to do what I love to do and get paid for it. So.
Who do you look up to, whether it be, another boxer, a mentor, who do you look to and kind of model yourself after?
There's a few, actually. As far as bare knuckle, of course, Bobby Gunn has been my idol. As far as bare knuckle boxing goes, and it was just like when I met him at the tryouts, I was starstruck, and then I get to speak to him, every now and then. He'll message me or I'll message him. Pernell Whitaker, as far as boxing wise, he's one of the greatest boxers to ever, grace this planet. And his story after his stardom, it's kind of, given me something to not, I know it makes no sense to not aspire to. I know what to do with myself,
right.
After when I reach the pinnacle of my career rather than,
right.
And then my father, of course, he had a little bit of a hard life, but he has done the best that he can with what he had, and he raised 3 amazing children, and he semi-supports this dream. He still thinks I'm crazy for wanting to fight bare knuckle, but, he's right there in my corner, and I know it's hard for him as a dad and a coach, to sit there and watch as I do it, so.
If for what it's worth, if it makes him feel any better, I recently put out an article on why bare knuckle boxing is actually safer.
Yeah, I read that article. It was very, very well put together. It was a great article, and I really appreciate that, because a lot of people try to downplay or, claim that what I'm doing is really barbaric. But what I tell people is, hey, you ever been in a street fight? You ever seen 2 kids in high school, like Johnny and Ricky are going to meet up as so-and-so at one time, and they're going to scrap it out, So
and they have no rules, no referee protecting them.
Exactly. No rules, no referee, nothing.
I think it's just so new. It's the shock factor almost.
Yeah.
Of wow, people, they're going to fight without gloves. Another interesting thing, I don't know, I'm sure you did see it. One of the other lightweights, Johnny Bedford, actually on record picks you to win. He feels it's going to be you and him in the finals.
As soon as we got to Mississippi, right, and I sat down to talk with Sean Willock, was like the first question out of his mouth too. You know, like everybody, the expectation is for me and Johnny Bedford to be fighting for the championship. You know, and I met Johnny for the first time at the first Bare Knuckle event. He's a great fighter. I take nothing away from him. I don't know if his desire for it is as much as some of those other guys. You know what I mean? We saw Abdil come out and put on an amazing performance.
Yes, he did.
We saw Rusty come out and he worked, you know, and then we saw Johnny get in there and I'm just going to call for what it is. It was a lousy fucking fight. Excuse my language. It was. You know, if you're supposed to be one of the top guys in our sport, in our organization, and you're picked to be in the championship and you barely got past your opponent, you know, it speaks volumes on your preparation and your seriousness of what you're doing. You know, so I can't sit here and say that Johnny's going to be in the championship anymore because I don't know which Johnny's going to show up for the next event in January. You know?
Well, I could say...
Abdul Velasquez is coming to fight. Johnny isn't in there with somebody who, you know, he's just going to get in there and push around and, you know, Velasquez is coming to fight, so...
Well, what we do know is every time you're in there, you come to fight. That's all we've seen out of you. And it definitely shows that you truly just love it. Like you just, like some guys fight because, I got to get the paycheck or I'm good at it. I feel like you actually love getting in there.
Like I said, I love fighting. It's not about the money. It's not about the fame, the fortune, or whatever. You know, I love. At the end of the day, I generally love fighting. I can't like after a while of not fighting. You know, it gets under my skin, and I become like this person that's not. You know, I have to get it out. You know, so we didn't fight. You know, a couple weeks ago. So me and my closest training partner, my brother Brandon, who's 190 pounds. I haven't done MMA. You know, in like 8-9 months, you know, because we've been doing nothing. But we did 8 full MMA rounds.
Wow.
You know, and we went to work. We beat the crap out. I woke up limping the next day, but it was okay because I actually felt like I was in a fight. You know, so
you felt better about it.
Yeah, I felt better about it. I got to get it out. You know, I love fighting, so anytime. You know, I step in there, I'm coming to fight. It doesn't matter who's across that ring. If you're better than me, I'm better than you. It doesn't matter. It's going to be a fight.
You know, like you said, you mentioned that when you come to fight and you don't come to lose. You know, let's say you go on, you win your next fight. Let's say you go on to win the tournament. Where do you?
I'm just letting you know.
where do you?
That's not confidence. That's confidence. I'm going. Nobody's going to outwork me. Nobody's hungrier than me right now.
Fair enough. Where do you see yourself past that? Where do you see yourself 1 year, 2 years from now?
Let's see. Well, next year I'll be the world champion. Of course, I'll be expected to defend my title, and I'm open to any every you know, opponent or not opponent, but whoever challenger. There we go. That's the word for it. And then, honestly, I want to see if I can lure some of those big name boxers over to bare knuckle, or you know, or go over back to boxing and take out, you know, some of those big name boxers around my weight class. Really, I want to really use my platform to make a name for this sport. Dave Feldman worked hard to get us these opportunities to, you know, fight like this on this platform, and however I can help to push it even further forward, even if that means, you know, jumping back and forth between bare knuckle and boxing. But right now, I'm strictly bare knuckle, you know, and hopefully I can retire as a bare knuckle world champion and a boxing world champion.
Very well said, Reggie Barnett Jr.
Yeah,
very well said. Well, we appreciate your time, sir, and good luck whenever you do. You know, when that fight comes up, you know, we wish you all the best of luck, and you know, it's obvious that, you know, you're taking it super serious, and this is what you want to do, and I think you can definitely, I believe you can manifest, you know, your own destiny, so to speak, and it looks like you're on the right path with that, man. And like I said,
I appreciate you guys so much for, you know, just having me on. Y'all support, you know, believing in my sport and my dream. You know.
100%, man. We appreciate your time.
It's great that I finally, our times worked out that we can have you on, because I know we've talked about it in the past, and the day is finally here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Anytime.
Looking forward to January. They haven't released the official date or location yet. You know, the speculation we're going to Mexico. So it's I'm down, but look for it January semifinal rounds. Y'all know that when that bell rings and Easy's in the ring, it's gonna be fireworks. So
We will be watching.
Well, where can the people reach you at, Reggie, on social media and stuff?
Oh yeah, social media. Go like my fan page, Reggie Easy Barnett Jr. You can find me on Instagram, Reggie Easy Jr. Of course, my Facebook, Reggie Barnett Jr. That's really, and then yeah, that's about it. And yeah, those are the best places to reach me. But
Awesome.
I'm hoping I'm a people's champ, So anybody out there, if you got a question, comments, tips, need anything at all, tell them reach out.
There you go.
I'm here for the people too.
Go check him out, it's Reggie Barnett Jr. He's got a fight coming up soon, sooner than later, hopefully. And like I said, hopefully, he'll go on. Like I said, we wish you the best luck in the whole tournament. Nick Portella, Joshua Furs, Reggie Barnett Jr. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. We're out.
Take care, sir.
All right, everybody. We hope you enjoyed those couple interviews we had for you for the bare knuckle boxing and our little bare knuckle boxing theme. Chris Cella, Reggie Barnett Jr. Those guys have awesome stories, and like you said, I hope you really enjoy the video and really enjoy their stories. And those guys are just really inspiring and really motivational to hear kind of where they came from and how confident they are as to where they're going in the future. And we really just we genuinely wish the best for both those guys. So that's all we got for you. Like I said, please leave us a like, give us the thumbs up, share it, please, and helps us out a lot. Check out our buddies over at jabapparel.com. Once again, for if you're in the fight game, if you're not in the fight game, the clothes are comfortable, they look awesome, and they're really, really great prices too. So check our friends out over at jabapparel.com. And like I said, like, share, subscribe. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're everywhere. For Nick Portella, for Joshua Furs, we're out.